Most guys waste their time and miss out on a ton of dating opportunities every day because they don't understand this one crucial mental framework for attracting and generating dates with beautiful women that should be baked in every single man with a decent job and a roof over his head. In the next 10 minutes, you're about to learn a fundamental principle that no one has ever told you about female attraction, a principle that all attractive men instinctively already operate on. This exact mental framework helped me get dozens of dates with beautiful girls around my city and help my client get amazing results without the need to memorize cringe pickup lines or become Mr. Alpha, red pill nonsense sigma male, or something like that. On top of that, adopting this mental framework will skyrocket your self-confidence and self-esteem once you fully internalize what you're about to learn. Okay, so in order for you to understand how crucial this is in attracting women, I'm going to share a personal story of when I completely lost the interest of a girl I thought I already won over, just because I didn't understand what I'm about to tell you. It was around 2019. I was still going to a lot of house parties my friends organized at the time. Back then, I believe women were attracted to nice fit guys who are gentlemen. Husband material, basically. Naturally, I was focused on being just that. I worked at the bank, I was decently fit, and I took pride being a great listener, especially to women. Honestly, I didn't struggle getting the girl's attention at first, but I always struggled keeping it. At one event, I met this beautiful Asian girl. Her name was Catherine. We chatted a bit, exchanged numbers, and the next day, she sent me a message. I thought, wow, this is my chance to not fuck it up, right? We started texting and exchanging jokes right off the bat, and daily too. When she would message, I would message right back. And then we had a conversation going. I was so happy until she started replying a little less and a little less. Until eventually, she was barely responding at all. I was so confused. I mean, in just 2 weeks of time, I felt like I had won it all over, but I had lost it just as much, just as fast. All that while doing absolutely nothing different since the day I met her. I thought we had great chemistry, that she liked talking to me as much as I liked talking to her. I really couldn't figure out what I did wrong that got her to suddenly lose interest in me so fast. I was confused, a little heartbroken, and frustrated, because over the next couple of years, the same situation played out for so many girls to come. One after the other, I'd lose their interest like my life was a broken record. Until I learned this. I was too invested in someone who wasn't as invested in me. I might not have admitted it to myself at the time, but every time that she messaged me, I would be ecstatic and I would prioritize replying to her over whatever I was doing at the time. For example, I remember at work, I would purposely go on bathroom breaks just to pee, just so I had an excuse to pull out my phone and shoot her a reply to show that I was still invested in the conversation we had going. It wasn't that I couldn't live without her, or that wanting to text her back quickly was the issue itself, but rather it was that internally I actually wanted her attention more than she wanted mine, or at least that's how it seemed from her perspective, and that made me come off as someone needy and someone who needed approval. Even though I thought I was being authentically myself, I came off as just like all the other guys who fought for her attention and who put her on a pedestal. Okay, here's the lesson I learned. I have to seek internal validation instead of seeking external validation. How does that work? So the mental framework you need to operate on to attract your dream girl is actually very, very simple. You have to become the approval giver instead of being the approval seeker. In other words, in order for you to attract her, you must switch your source of validation from external to internal. What does that mean? To answer that, let's come back to my earlier little sad story about the girl I lost, Catherine. When she would send me a message, I was genuinely happy simply because a pretty girl I met in real life gave me validation I never had in high school. As a kid, I grew up quite obese and unloved and had always dreamed of having a girlfriend. That resulted in me overvaluing female approval and made me undervalue myself. On the outside, I had worked on my physical appearance and got somewhat fit, but internally I was still the fat kid who was a little too nice to people for my own good. I lacked the self-respect needed to be attractive to women. Fast forward to today, because of all the work I've put in myself, I've earned my own personal validation and a deep sense of self-respect as a result. In retrospect, in 2023 alone, I managed to get a six-pack for the first time in my life, secure a solid relationship with a quality woman, wrote 5 songs as an independent artist. That was so hard. Invested in myself on a $2,000 course to learn about YouTube, and I started my YouTube channel to teach what I'm passionate about. The reason why I worked so hard to accomplish those goals was because I understood if I truly wanted to attract a girl, the girl of my dream, I have to work hard and earn my own validation, to have high standards for myself so that I don't see her as the prize anymore, but instead to adopt the mental framework of being the approval giver. Women want a man that she can look up to, and the biggest mistake most guys make that kills attraction instantly is not having enough self-respect. You might be thinking, but I do have self-respect and I still don't attract girls. And don't worry, I know exactly where you're coming from because I was there too, honestly, not even too long ago. You might think that being a good listener and being caring, being nice and generous to people, being respectful and loving, being easygoing makes you worthy of respect. But in reality, that's what makes you worthy of loving, not respect. If you want to have self-respect, you need to think of yourself as a leader who can lead yourself and lead others to do what's right and what's needed. Self-respect is earned through self-leadership, personal development, and putting yourself first. When you work hard on achieving your goals, getting fit, making money, solving problems for yourself, you start to subconsciously value yourself because you put yourself first. You start to believe that you deserve great things in life and you won't tolerate getting less than you deserve. By working hard on yourself and gaining your own approval that way, you gain a lot of self-respect. By having a lot of respect for yourself from all the hard work you put in yourself, you'll feel like girls who aren't showing you interest aren't worth your time anyway. The result of all that is for you to start to qualify women to see if they are a good match for you instead of thinking if you qualify to them. This exact mental framework is what women are deeply drawn to. Women actually want a man that thinks highly of himself, which translates into unshakable self-confidence. Of course, she doesn't want a guy who is arrogant, but she does want a man that is so invested in himself that he does not tolerate less than what he thinks he deserves. Confidence is the strongest aphrodisiac, and women can smell it from a mile away. So now, instead of thinking I'm the lucky man to have attracted such a beautiful girl, I think that she's a lucky girl to have met an awesome guy like me. Without being arrogant, I've built for myself a healthy self-esteem and a sense of high self-respect that made me into an attractive masculine man in women's eyes. Now, when I talk to girls, they subconsciously try to qualify themselves to me because I embody the energy of a masculine man that knows what he wants, who has a lot of self-respect. That is what creates attraction, a deep sense of self-respect, the key to attracting high-quality women. So how do you switch from external validation to internal validation? It's actually quite simple. You don't need to write half a dozen songs or lose 30 pounds in 90 days to prove that you're worth it. But you need to simply shift your focus back on what makes you valuable and worthy of respect. All you need to do is to identify what makes you worthy of respect and to seek your own validation. All you need to do is to start seeing the greatness that is already in you. Because trust me, you're 100% worth it, my guy. You just need to find a way to adopt a mental framework in which you are the prize to be had, and in which you deserve the most beautiful, loyal, perfect girlfriend that you want, whoever that girl may be, because you already have all the qualifications for her. So to help you with this, I've put together a full worksheet with loaded questions to help you identify your self-image, what you're most proud and ashamed of, your core values, your internal motivators, and your purpose. It is a comprehensive worksheet that will tell you everything that you need to know about yourself so that you can start working on shifting from seeking external validation to having deep internal validation. Once you've fully adopted this mental framework, you'll see that all of your interactions with women will completely change and you'll start attracting women without even trying to. However, if you still haven't had much success in your dating life, then I've made a video about the biggest mistake you can make that's destroying your life. And you can watch it right here. As always, stay focused, stay real.